Got another question from April K. What's up, baby? She says, for all y'all, but geared more towards Bobby, how do you keep a positive mentality when grinding speedruns and or competitive games?
Sometimes you just gotta learn how to like tell yourself to stop and cut that shit off. Like, like sometimes you just get so much in your head when things are going wrong that you're just not the same person, especially when you're trying to demonstrate in front of like people, whether it's like through a stream or like through like a local session. Like you definitely don't want to give any people like any sort of like bad vibes. You know what I'm saying? So like don't let any sort of game drag you down, you know, like that. It's just a game, you know. Never. What's up?
Well, when it comes to grinding and competitive, well, in competitive games like fighting games, if you're not getting pissed off at yourself, or at least trying to understand and just get upset that you're not hitting this stuff, I don't know how far you could take yourself. And if you can just be like, oh well, I'll hit it next time. Maybe unless you're Michael Goldfish, literally the only exception.
Yeah, literally Goldfish is the exemption.
It is the one exempt person I think I've ever seen who doesn't really get upset at themselves. They'll be like, I'll just do it next time. That's literally only Michael.
No, I kind of just get disappointed instead.
See, there you go. At least,
and then I spiral. I spiral in a different way, man.
Things get depressing. I just want to kick the stool.
Yeah, it's like, what even? Like, why am I even alive, dude? Like, fuck, man. Like, I can't block these fucking Gohan leg mix, dude. Like, I'm fucking just.
But if you can't get upset at yourself when you play it, it's really difficult for me to justify you even playing it in general. Like, because what's the point of playing the game if you can't look at something that you seemingly can't do and not be upset that you can't do it, right? And keeping a positive mental attitude is like getting mad, but also just kind of being like, no, dude, I can't fucking hit this shit. I'm gonna hit it. And it's just staying angrily positive, I guess, is one of the best way to do it, because it's like me and Dax used to play 200 sets a fucking day. I'd get so fucking mad, I'd still hit that retry button, because it's like, it's not like I'm not having fun. I'm just fucking pissed that I suck. I need to get better. So let me just get in there, try it again, dude, until I punish him for something, anything. God damn it!
All right.
The thing I kind of cemented myself, especially when it came to grinding speedruns, and I started to really realize this during that point, was when, and I remember one of the moments was I was grinding. It was 2014 when I was learning how to do KH1, and I was trying to grind the Jafar one cycle strat, which was not, you know, in the end that hard, but it was one of the first things in that game that I kind of got walled on as far as fights go, because a lot of the main strats and things like that you kind of practice and look for in that game. It's mostly bosses and things like that. Everything else can kind of figure out. And there was a good like 2.5 hours like where I was very frustrated with myself, because I'd been doing pretty well up until this point, and I was like, why am I getting walled here? I see what to do. I know what to do. This is stupid. And it kind of got to a point where I couldn't really, I was pretty pissed off, and I couldn't really get over the feeling of just being pissed off. But there was also, instead of it being like, but I really want to get this, and I really want to do this. I want to do this so bad. I'm going to keep at it. It was more like, I know I will eventually do it.
Yeah.
So like it was more this self-realization of like, it's frustrating, but like it was just a literal like, if I just keep doing it, I'm going to get it, because up till this point I've been able to do everything else. And I don't really see anything with this to keep me from being able to do it. So I just got to keep. And so it's almost a feeling, instead of it being like, ooh, I'm going to relax, it's more like, no, I'm still pissed off, but I just got to keep doing it until it gets it, because I know from experience that eventually I'm going to get this combo. Eventually I'm going to get this strat. Eventually this and that. But that's more of like a grinding kind of mindset, as opposed to those, like, you know, AceUhh, obviously you'd have more experience when it comes to like kind of actively competing, and those like kind of the situation thing instead of being kind of an active grind in something. It's more of like, okay, because then it's a matter of like, you have all this prep, you go to a tournament a weekend, say you get destroyed or whatever, and then you have to sit on that because when's the next tournament, right?
Yeah,
it's a separate thing. That's a whole different ballpark that I don't know how to. I don't have enough experience to really say much on that.
That is more so. This year, I practiced really hard for Dragon Ball, and I got dust. I think I went like 2-2. It was literally the worst placing I did at Evo at a tournament for Dragon Ball. I had never gone 2-2. I have at least always gone 3-2 in a Dragon Ball, like in any capacity. My first Evo, I went 5-2. A bunch of other like local tournaments, I always went like 4-2 or 5-2. This one was the worst one. I went 2-2, and I just got dusted by a hit. And I was like, "What? Kid Buu and then a hit." That was basically what fucking got me, because I don't like going against Kid Buu. That fucking character's nuts and stupid. But hit fucked me up, and I had been going against Vash's hit forever, and it was just one of those things where it's like, no, this guy plays completely different than Vash, and I didn't know how to deal with it at all. So I had to go back to my hotel room and just be fucking livid that I did all this prep for fucking Dragon Ball, didn't really pay attention much to Tekken, and I made it out of my Tekken pool at Evo. But for Dragon Ball, I got dusted. I'm like, this doesn't make any fucking sense. So it's just one of those things where I have to sit there and understand that I was not ready for that matchup. I have to understand that, okay, that it's already happened. You can't be just fucking, like, you can dwell for a little bit. Sure, anyone can just sit there and just fucking be mad for a couple minutes about after losing in a big tournament like that, where you're not really expecting to win because you're not a fucking pro player. You're not really, like, trying to get there. You're trying to win, but you understand once there will be a threshold where you're gonna hit and you're just gonna be like, I am getting dusted. I am getting smoked. I will not beat these people, and just be happy about that situation, how far you made it. But in that situation where I felt like I could have won, I could have made it to that point, I had to really just kind of reel it back and look at the other things that I've done in that tournament. It's like, look, you already made it out of your Tekken pool. Just focus on that. Just get rid of your mindset on whatever you did at Dragon Ball this year, and just wait for the next tournament. Just keep practicing. The cycle goes on and on, because eventually you're going to hit that point to where you enter any pool and you're just going to be able to fucking absolutely smoke anyone you fucking play in pool. That's how I am with Tekken right now, where I'll go to my local, I'll go to any major, and as long as I don't have somebody I know that I know can beat me, I'm good. I don't give a fuck who you are. I will fucking smoke you. But when it comes to Dragon Ball, I'm not there yet. I don't ever feel like there's always so many. When it comes to 2D and anime games, it's too hard to scope out everybody that's going to be in your pool. It's too hard to scope out the person that you're going against in your pool. Sometimes those people don't even have anything online, and you just get smoked because this guy has been playing secretly with his 17-year-old little brother, who's actually just the greatest DBZ fighter, and he just doesn't go to tournaments because he's 17 and his parents won't let him. You don't know that. Like, nobody knows that shit, Where in Tekken, it's a little bit more clammed and set in stone. And if there's someone in my pool that I don't know, but they go to a different local, I'll have some known player come up to me like, oh, he's in my local. He's pretty good. He plays this character. Just do this. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. I'll do that and call it a day. And it just stay positive and understand that, you're not going to win everything.
It's so different and yet so similar. The kind of like reflection period and how you go about it when it comes to like the grind in fighting games and in speed running.
Mm-hmm.
The outlying difference is that, like, especially in like a tournament setting, best 2 out of 3 or best 3 out of 5, and like say that you're down a match, you only have so many instances of time where you're able to like reflect and do better. When it comes to like a speed run grind or like a stream, there can either be you either have like those like, all right, press reset and then just like keep going at it, or you can just like take some time to like pull yourself back from things that might, you know, just be going wrong string after string, and reflecting, maybe putting in a like you know, like let me load up a save state. Let me practice something out real quick before I actually go back into more attempts. You can't really do that in a fighting game, or you can't really do that, especially in a tournament setting where it's like, can I practice a combo real quick? No. Can I? They don't even allow coaching anymore. So like, what the fuck? They're not gonna have TaskBot out there for it. So in a speedrun setting, there's a whole bunch of like dwelling, I feel like you see a whole bunch of that shit like after like the fact in tournaments. AceUhh was dwelling because he went 2-2 despite the fact that, you know, he won his other pool. That's after the fact, but like during the grind, like a lot of this is just like super in the moment for like speedrun or like, even if you're in like training mode trying to like figure out something in an instance in a fighting game.
Yeah, with speedrunning, the dwelling thing is a huge detriment. Because that harks super hard on people. They dwell so hard on messing up a trick that it will ruin. They could still PB. They could still get world record off messing up a trick. But because they messed up that trick and they're still going, it will literally hawk them down the entire run and just fuck up everything else.
I just saw a tweet from
saved it.
Yeah. I just saw a tweet from Insert Logic. Great Cage runner. He just recently took back a record in 2FM, I believe. And he is not doing very well because like he got a good record and it did well or whatever, but he had this like horrible 50-second time loss death late in the run to something that like that doesn't really happen very much. And now it's like you have this great run, and it's not even the fact that PB. Now it's like, oh well, I could have gotten this time, and now like when people look at the run, now here's this blemish, right?
You ever get like a shiny new like HD TV, and there's like this super fucking
there's a dead pixel right
there. Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, and you have like 8 or 9 people come over to watch the Super Bowl, and they're not going to notice, and they're not even going to care, but you have to point it out because you're like pixel.
Yeah.
Well,
it's hard not to. It's hard to be in the middle. It's hard to be in the middle of a run.
Really nice TV, and you're like, but look at the
fucking pixel. Well, it's hard to be in a middle of a run and like fuck something up, even if you know it's not going to be that big of or not going to be a huge time loss. But like you're frustrated with it, and part of you is like, man, I want to like, what did I do wrong? What is this? And your whole mind's stuck on that, and you look over the timing, and it's like you still have like an hour and a half left. Yeah. This is like all I can think about.
That's why I was the king of. If I messed up something, I was like, oh damn, that sucks, and just kept on going.
Yeah, that's what nice about Korra. If you fucked up something, it's like this run's 5 minutes long.
It's like I got the Zigbar right, and I didn't know Zigbar that well, but if I did it right, it'd be like cool. But if I messed it up, it's like fuck it, whatever. I don't practice this shit. Let's keep it moving, baby. Like, what about you, Michael? You're like. I know we talked about it a little bit, but like you also do both things. How do you deal with that perspective and like trying to stay positive on it?
Well, specifically for the dead pixel scenario, when you're doing really well and you fuck up one big thing and it looks like a blemish. Yeah. My trick to that is remember that you're good enough that you can get it. You can fix the dead pixel. Just like do another run, you know?
Yeah.
Like in my true any percent run of Donkey Kong, I fucking died in the 3rd level because I got so bored that I stopped holding the grab button.
There you go.
And I just fucking whiffed the fucking pit. And then I'm like, dude, this fucking blows. But like, whatever. I can do because like I'm not super upset about it. And yeah, the world record run fucking sucks. But I mean, if I wanted to do it, I can just boot up another run and do better. And hold the grab button, you know? It's not like I don't have the potential to get a run that isn't dog shit, right?
Yeah.
And for just general, I guess staying positive stuff. Try to remember why you're doing it. Remember that like you're doing it to have fun. You're doing it to improve. I guess if it's competition, you're doing it to be able to beat people. But that leads to improvement and enjoying the game, right?
And that leads to fun. Making people feel bad and get into that dwelling state is the best part about fighting games.
Like, if that's fun for you, then go for it.
Hell yeah, baby.
Yeah, and like when you fuck something up, whether I don't know, you drop your combo or you lose to a guy or you lose one of your runs, you miss a trick. Remember that like don't beat yourself up for it because it doesn't mean you're subhuman garbage. It's just you're getting better, right? Like when you fuck something up, like it's that one tiny step closer to being better. Like actually internalize that you're not bad at it. And that's what I'm personally bad at is you have to stop beating yourself up over fucking things up. You're allowed to like make mistakes. You're allowed to take time to get good at something. You don't have to be good right away, you know?
That's crazy for you to say because you just pick up a fighting game and you become a god at it. So I
Dude,
don't know.
I don't. Dude, my yuzu, I have no nukes with yuzu, dude.
Okay, sure.
But it's okay. Like things take time. You're allowed to be bad. Being
is,
bad
you would play it for a week and then you'd have nukes.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe that mindset is what allows him to ascend, dude.
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe it is. What about Vash? I don't know if you're here.
Dude, fucking okay, so there's two things about this. My attitude towards like grinding practice has gotten a fuck of a lot better. Back when I first started playing DMC and back when I ran MGR, I fucking hated practicing. That shit sucked so much dick and I never did it, so I never got better. I got really good at executing the shit that I did practice, but I never added on to that. It's not really that way anymore. It's just now juggling everything and finding the time to sit down to learn new stuff. You see that now in Valorant to where, yeah, you obviously need to work on your aim, but that's not something that you really train. Like, yeah, everybody has Kovacs, but that's not the same thing as being in a live aim duel situation.
No,
you gotta rethink your approach to a lot of things. Learning like lineups for ability usage, though, that's something that I need to sit down, like go into a private match and just learn, because that's the kind of stuff that once you know it, yeah, it's pretty easy and consistent to execute mid-match. And there's a lot of experimentation there, which is really cool. I think mid-game, though, like Bobby was touching on, it really is the same thing of, you know, I do get pretty pissed off in ranked games, just because it's like the thing of you're in the middle of a live fighting game match, and it's just like, okay, I'm beating my head against this one little piece of execution that just isn't clicking for me right now. The correct thing to do would be to exit this situation, go into training mode, and grind it until it's comfortable. You don't really have that option either in tournament setting or in like the middle of running sets with you and DAX. You just have to sit there in that state of deficiency and shittiness, and it's going to pile on. And I think the big thing is, at least right now, not in a fighting game sense, but when I think about, you know, competitive, you know, shooters like Valorant, it's just sometimes you have an off game.
Yeah.
And you really do have to let yourself, like Michael said, just be in that state of, yeah, I'm just sort of shit this time. And
that's how I was in that last game that we played.
Yeah.
Where
like
there's 2 games before that, I was completely fragging out. I was hitting my shots like crazy. The next game after that, I literally just couldn't move. I would just get shit on running one tapped. It was like, what fuck? There's nothing I could do about all that shit.
And the difference there is really just, it's a matter of consistency. And the only thing that you're going to do is you're only going to build that up with endurance and with time.
Yep.
So you've got to be able to put in literally that grind. And for me, if I get upset about something, I usually just like stop, literally close my eyes, take a big deep breath in between a round, and it's just like, that usually works.
Yeah.
When I'm in the middle of something, though, someone's getting called a fucking gorilla, and you just got to hold that. But you know, that's what are you gonna do? Like that's the heat of the moment type shit, bro. Shit.
Bobby, I got a specific question for you. Say you're at a local, and someone asks to use your cab. They're brand new, right? And they're gonna play against you, and they tell you, "Hey, man, I'm new to this game." And you can tell when the first like 20 seconds you playing him. Oh yeah, he's pretty new. What do you do?
What do I do?
Oh yeah, what do you do? Do you dog that motherfucker?
So like, You kind of gotta.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I was just wondering.
You kind of got
I-
it. You sort of got a fucking
Because in
dairy.
locals for me, at Tekken locals, I'll go every once in a while. I never play my main. I always just play stupid fucking side characters just to play against like the people that I normally do. But occasionally, like a new player will show up that I've never seen before, or they've been there once or twice before, but this is their first time playing me. And people will be like, "Oh yeah, he's decent, he's fine," and they know how good I am, so they know that I'm just basically gonna shit on him. I'll pick fucking Lars, I'll pick Lucky Chloe, and I will do the most degenerate bullshit and just dog shit all over him for fun.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a bad thing? Because I don't think so. I don't think so at all.
It's a sort of testing the waters that has been, I don't know. It's kind of like a tried and true thing, especially when it comes to like new players with like the fighting game community. You got to see if they're willing to either learn from this experience or stick with it to the point where they will end up learning more and digesting more information about the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'll pick like a secondary or like, but I already know like the ins and outs of the game, and I will use that knowledge to my full extent
all day.
Yeah. Like it's just me playing the game, and it's a lot. It's about how other people will play the game as well. If you sugarcoat things and put kid gloves on, then like not only do you get the type of people that are like, I fought that Blacktastic guy before, but I kind of went toe to toe with them.
Yeah.
Last stock, last match, and it was getting pretty sweaty. Like you always get like those types of guys, like everywhere.
Oh yeah, always. Yeah. That's every fucking scene, any fucking area in the U.S. That's literally you'll get that.
Or you get people that actually like want to ask questions, and like if you are willing to invest that much time, then yeah, I'll be.
I do the great thing, and I don't let them ask questions. I just tell them what they did wrong.
See, I think that's a little bit like, I don't know, being an asshole at like that point, because it's like
no. Because I always try to do it a little bit.
It's FGC equivalent to counter hit. Stop hitting yourself. That's literally the equivalent.
Yeah. I understand that, but most of the time, like I'll let the set go until somebody says, "Hey, man, can I get next?" And I'll usually let them stay on, and I'll get off because I don't want to kick them off. Like I want them to keep on playing. But what I'll do is give me a second. I will sit down and just be like, "Look, man. I don't want to tell you how to play the game or anything like that, but there's a couple things you should know when going against this specific character in this situation." So you that big move that I was doing. Yeah. He's like, "Oh yeah, the big kick, right? Yeah. That's a high. Duck that." And then be like, "Oh, that's a high? Oh, cool."
Okay, I definitely like that. I definitely like that a lot more than like what a lot of people will do when it's like they'll just do a lot of that. They'll just like advice vomit in the middle of like heat of the moment, like middle of the match.
Oh yeah,
like,
I never do that.
Oh yeah, that's minus, or oh yeah, that's plus. Yeah, just don't move forward. Like
I never do that shit. I always am just like look silent in between games. I look at my damn phone, and then it's like, or I'll say some comment, be like, "Damn, that's fucked up," or some shit like that, and continue to look at my phone.
If I see him
get off, then I do that.
If I see him get hit by the same kind of thing after several matches, like very specifically, I'll like in between or like after a match, I'll be like, "Hey, so this thing, like, do you?" And I'll even ask, be like, "Hey, it's like, do you know the frame date on this move?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, I know it's plus. I keep forgetting. That's why I'm getting hit." I'm like, "Okay," but other times they'll be like, "Oh no, like I keep eating shit from that." Yeah, it's like, "Yeah, it's plus." I'm like, "Oh, that's plus. I didn't know. I kept trying to punish it, and I kept thinking I could, but I didn't." So,
well, I'm not that type of person to be like, fucking help. What do I do in this matchup? Don't get hit, lol. I'm not that. I will give advice pretty much like I want to sit down with people and just be like, "Look, man, this is what you're doing. You should just start worrying about like, more of your momentum. If you've got a life lead and you've got my back to the wall, pressure. Just get up in my damn face. Make me scared. And it's like those small little things. I don't ever want to give out somebody to be like, yeah, this is plus. Look, I might have to play against that guy in tournament. I might have to fuck him up with that move. All right. I'm not going to tell him that, but I'm going to be like, use your momentum, because that's like a big thing, especially in Tekken. People don't use. They get a life lead and they're just like, okay, buddy, you stay over there.
That's also.
I'm going to be. Momentum is a huge thing.
It's also something that really important that you is whether you fight this dude in tournament or sitting down for a casual.
Yeah.
Because definitely in tournament, I'm just gonna pick Bison and just fucking wash.
Oh, I'm fucking him up. I don't care. And I'm not giving you advice afterward. I'm saying good game and going, all right, that was
we'll be making lose this run.
Yeah.
Your advice, try better next.
Yeah, that's my advice for tournament setting. But casuals, I 100% want to help people. I just want people to just sit down and get engrossed in the game that they've gone out of their house, they've gone out of their schedule to come down and play. I want them to play it more.
Yeah.
And just fucking hang out. Make sure this is a time investment. Hey, I learned something at this local. Maybe I'll go again, and then maybe I'll learn something else.
Yeah, dude. I mean, as long as you're not like, I don't know, no hustle, no like none of that shit. Like, all right, so the very first time that I went to like a Cleveland like local, it was filled with a whole bunch of like back in like 2008, where like new generation hadn't even like come out.
Yeah.
And then like I sit down to like play like a little bit of like Tekken. This one guy, he's actually like, I don't know, PR'd in like Ohio for Tekken or like some shit like that.
Yeah.
Sits down to play. He's like, oh man, yeah, I haven't played this game. Like, yeah, dude, I'm just like, I'm already being like modest as hell. Like I don't really like do anything, but I think I can like hold my own. It's like, all right, man. I pick like Hua wrong because I know how to press circle and X and like nothing more.
Yeah. That's standard as you do.
Motherfucker picks Kazuya, counter hit, electric wind god fit me like 4 times in a row, and I'm just like, yeah. So you're new to the game, right?
Yeah. No.
It's just a sour taste in my mouth. Like why? Like especially in a game like as Tekken, where it's like I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. It's just one of those. It's one of those few things. I don't know. I was just wondering on your dynamic, like your perspective on that, because I've gotten to a point since Tekken 7's come out to where people look at me and they want advice on the game, and it's like, bro, what the fuck? What do you want to know from me? But I've also started to really enjoy that aspect of just helping out the new players. Because since Tekken 7 came out, there was a lot of new players. Our scene went from 6 players to fucking 50.
Damn.
Yeah. So it's been a different like perspective, I guess.
I mean, now that Tekken's actually like updated like actual training mode options and like, replays for like analyses and honestly, you don't really have to tell the person much about how to improve when like the tools are like right in front of them.
They've always been like since Tag 2. The tools are always there. It's always before it was all the matter of actually trying to learn it. Now it's there. The frame data is there, for God's sake. That's some shit that we've been asking for years and years.